Yeah. Yeah.
Hey guys, Kinder Knight here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you enjoyed that little reveal sequence at the start. I wanted to kick things off with something fun and fresh to set the tone for this brand new Castles of the World series, Kingdom Come Deliverance II edition. In this series, we'll be exploring every fully walkable castle in Kingdom Come Deliverance II, and I'll be doing my best to recreate each one as faithfully as possible. And so, kicking things off, for our first episode in the series, we'll be taking a look at Nebakov Castle, a small but striking fortress, and one of the first castles you can visit early on in the game, located on the first map in the Trosky region. But before we check out the castle here, I want to go ahead and take you guys around so you guys can check out some of the other little details that I added in here just to kind of bring this whole kind of plot together. I didn't want to just build the castle alone, since everything is set on a flat world. I felt the need to go a step further and truly bring the immersion to life. Most of these little details that you'll see are very similar from the game, such as the stables here where they kept their horses. And then over here we have this little area, this little enclosure where we have some more horses. And there goes my horse from the opening scene there. And then if we come around back, we have an outhouse, again staged to be very similar to what you would see in the game. And just to kind of frame the plot here, I did add some trees here just to give your eye something to look at, and so it kind of distracts from the fact again that this is all built in a flat world. Then here we have some firewood just like in the game. And then over here we have a little area where we have some carpenters doing some work. As you can see, we have some loose boards there. And then some chickens around. And then over here, just like in a game, we have an area for some target practice. And then I even added in these little stumps that are present in the game in this area as well. And then over here, we have a table where Henry gets his first boomstick, as you can see there. But moving on, we'll head towards the gatehouse here. And taking a look, as you can see, it looks pretty cool, I think. Pretty one-to-one. Even this little area right here where we have the stakes in the ground, just like in the game, it kind of blocks any advancing in that direction. So let's go ahead and go inside. Very similar to the game there. And now stepping into the first Bailey courtyard here. We'll go ahead and go up the gatehouse over here. Just like in the game, we have some arrows, lots of ammo here. And then we have our arrow slits, our arrow loops here. And then we do have the matriculations here. And then this little thing here is a trap door that they would use in the game, that they would lift this up and they would drop down the rocks, the stones and stuff like that. And I'll show you guys. So here would be that trap door. Obviously I designed it closed, but in the game that would be able to be opened up. So next we have the blacksmith's area right here. As you can see, pretty one-to-one. We have the forge here. We have our big bellows over here. Then we have the anvil there. And all the little stuff around. And then going into this door here, we have the little sleeping chamber where we have some beds just like in the game. And then up at the top, the blacksmith has some more supplies being stored, just like in the game there. So now I think we'll go ahead and check out the castle. So we'll go up this area here. So now we come into the inner bailey. And just like in the game, we have this little table here where they're playing Farkle. And then over here we have this other table where you have a guard that's sitting there and eating. Then we do have a dove cove there. So we'll go ahead and check out the interiors of this house here. So we have a table here. We have a place to cook food. Some supplies around. Again, very similar to the game. So moving on. So moving through here, we have this little area under the battlements. And then we come to this door here that leads down into the dungeon here, as you can see. We'll just take a peek inside the cells. Oh, and there we go. And that's that. And then we come to this stinky little area here under the garderobe. Pretty one-to-one. But we'll go ahead and go up the stairs here. And then if we head right into this door, we have that room where Henry found it very curious because all the ammo stores and stuff like that. We'll go ahead and close that door. And then we have our battlements here. So now we'll go ahead and step inside the fortress. Just like in the game, we have the stairs that lead straight up here. And then right behind us we have, if we turn around, we have a little window right here. And then stepping in through here, we have the little dining hall, little fireplace there. We have the table and the Lord's chair there. And then behind here, just like in the game, we have this little pantry area where you can find this chest where then you can obtain your very own Nebakov Castle waffle rock. So that's pretty cool. So we'll go ahead and exit out of here. And then we'll make our way up the stairs. And then here we have the castle's garderobe. And then moving on, if we open the door here, we step into the Lord's bedroom here. And now this is pretty much one-to-one to the game. As you see, we even have the big, his big shield there. Then we have a desk. And then we have this nice big feature window, just like in a game here. So that's pretty cool. So we'll go ahead and close the door and we'll move up. And then we'll check out the battlements up here. As you can see, again, very one-to-one. We have beds for the guards to sleep in. And then we have our arrow slits here where the guards can look out. It looks pretty cool. And then we have this impressive beam work up here that I spent a little bit of time getting just right. But that's pretty much it. It was a small fortress, as you guys know, but there is still more to see because I built the whole complex. So we'll go ahead and check those parts out as well. So we'll go ahead and move on.
And now we could take the door here to go down to the next level of the Bailey, but I think it'd be more fun to do it the way Henry did during the siege of Nebakov, by climbing over this palisade, by using this pile of hay here. And we'll go ahead and drop down. There we go. Easy peasy. So now we come to the area where you meet Clara, which is the castle's medic or medicine woman. And if we step inside the cabin here, we see that we have a bed, a place for her to brew her potions and stuff like that. And then up at the top, just like in game, we have a bed with a chest, and we actually have some herbs here hanging on the wall. So we'll move on. And then we have these sheets, I guess, hanging and drying and stuff like that as well. And then here we have this sort of rocky formation that I did my best to try to recreate from the game. I think I did a pretty good job getting it to look somewhat decent. Again, these little details is like this is what really brings the build together, because again, although it's not a true one-to-one, but it can feel like it. And then over here we do have a little tree with another little or huge rock kind of formation as well, just like in game. And then I even went ahead and added in this chopped down birch tree that sits in the bailey as well, so that's even there. But we'll go ahead and move on to the next part of the bailey. So here we have a tree, and next to the tree we have this bench just like the game. And now we'll step down into the outer bailey, I guess you can call it. And so as you can see, just like in game, very one-to-one at this point here. This area here, if you guys remember, is where you can find some more sick, injured soldiers. So that's pretty cool. And then over here we have some hanging laundry. And then here we have a cooking station, just like in game. And then we have this wonky table because I built it at an angle. And that's there too. And then over here we have that area where a guy was doing some carpentry. But what's really neat over here is I took the time to go ahead and actually build the Ardacraft area. You can come down here in game. We have a bed. And then we have this big long bench thing where a few guards are sleeping on that as well. And then here we have another bed. So we are moving along. We are almost done looking at this entire plot. So last few bits to check out would be this building over here. And then we do have this little area over here where you can find a guard, I guess, doing some carpentry for some reason. Under here is where they had a bunch of firewood stored. But then if we come in through this building here, we have this pile of clutter there. And then through here we have this, I don't know if they use this for a dungeon or a kennel, I don't know, because in game there's nothing in there. But I still built it anyways. So there you have that. So then to finish off the tour, we're going to go upstairs here. And just like in game, you'll find some arrows, some halberds, some spears on this little lookout area. Yeah, and then that's just pretty much the whole castle complex. Yeah, I had a lot of fun putting this together. As I said, as I mentioned, that this place is built in a flat world, so everything you see, I had to build it completely from the ground up. That obviously includes this big mountainous promontory that this whole castle complex sits on. So I had to build all this up too. So it was well worth the time, I think, though. It really allowed me to capture the true essence of this castle and the atmosphere. So obviously no regrets. But with that being said, I do have a few exciting announcements to make about the channel, since I've really wanted to start trying to build up this community and just kind of give you guys more ways of interacting with me and the content. So I've officially launched my Discord server. It's not where I want it to be quite yet, but it's a solid start. So if you'd like to just stop by to say hi, share your builds, or even chat about the series, the link will be down in the description below. Also, I've started a Patreon for those of you who would like to help support what I do. And alongside the Patreon, I also have a Buy Me a Coffee link also, for those of you who would prefer to support me in that way. But if you are able to support, there are currently 2 Patreon tiers available. The first tier will bump you up to knight status in the Discord and get your name featured at the end of each video. The second tier includes all those perks, plus early download access to every build going forward, including this one here. So if any of that sounded good to you guys, the links will be found in the description below. I've also set up a Fiverr account which will be open for commissions, so if any of you are interested in custom builds, feel free to check that out as well. You'll find the link to that also in the description. Anyways guys, that's all I have. Farewell.